under the most harsh restrictions starting today. Gyms, movie theaters, churches can no longer meet indoors. As a result of the emergency orders, 41 of California's 58 counties are now in what's called purple tier status, and that is Newsom's strictest category. He's also considering instituting a statewide curfew. Now, some Republican lawmakers are complaining, including an assemblyman named James Gallagher, who's a strong Christian from Yuba City, and he's encouraging citizens to practice civil disobedience. In a statement, he said, and I'm quoting, "The governor and state bureaucrats can color code counties and change rules as they go, but the basics remain the same. We are free people who can exercise our freedom responsibly. The government can only take what you let them. I don't think you should close your business, church, or school. I would encourage you to keep them open. I don't think you need to cancel Thanksgiving. You are all responsible adults and can decide what risks are acceptable for you and your family. Be considerate. Recognize that we are seeing another increase in cases. It is not because some restaurants have been open. It's because that is what viruses do. In order to limit the spread, do your best to keep up on washing your hands, keep distance, and wearing a facial covering when you can't. We can and will overcome this as a free society," end of quote. Also, the Senate Minority Leader, Shannon Grove, also a strong woman of faith, complained that Newsom is again changing the rules around this tiered system. Meanwhile, the governor attended a dinner party at an upscale French restaurant and had more than the 10 people that he is saying that you can only have when you are in some sort of social gathering. And he's put out a statement saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it. We're all gonna do better."
And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated.
And he started counting them: 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe he didn't realize that he had exceeded the number, which is making a statement about the California educational system, doesn't it?
And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than
like he attended public schools.
I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back to my house. Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household. And you can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted. And
crying out loud. The Senate Minority Leader, Republican, first he sends his children to in-person private school while attacking school choice and keeping public schools closed throughout California. Now he attends a private gathering while telling Californians to do otherwise.
Got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you because I need to preach and practice, not just preach.
Sacramento Bee editorial board, quote, "If Newsom can't get his head into the game, perhaps he should make the governor thing a one-term affair and leave the job open for someone with a desire to lead," end of quote.
And not practice. And I've done my best to do that. We're all human. We all fall short sometimes. We've been out, and I think for 3 times since, in fact, I know it's been 3 times because I remember all of those dinners very, very vividly.
This is California, Jake. This is a man who had an affair with the wife of his campaign manager and survived that scandal. Who does that? And by the way, the campaign manager was supposedly his best friend. So, Gavin Newsom had an affair with his campaign manager, purportedly his best friend, and survived that scandal. It's amazing.
Since February, just 3 times, twice with my wife, by myself, outdoors, and then this one occasion with a larger group. And there were just a few extra people there than the spirit of what I am promoting. And so if we're going to minimize mixing, you got to own up to that. So I just want folks to know that.
So, he broke his own mandate, but the spirit was not broken. He told you not to have a gathering of more than 10 people. He exceeded that, but spiritually, he didn't exceed it. He may have exceeded it physically, but not spiritually, because Jake, This is California. I'm Larry Elder.